Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are absolutely furious after their wedding plans have been leaked. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are officially in their absolutely not era because their wedding plans just leaked and they are apparently furious. Like, not mildly annoyed, not like, whatever. I mean furious, and honestly fair. So here's the tea. These two planning, they were planning a low-key, dreamy, intimate wedding next summer. Think cozy Rhode Island mansion, soft lighting, roses everywhere, a ceremony small enough that the caterer could take, attendance by memory probably. It was giving like luxury, exclusivity, and if you weren't personally invited by Taylor's left eyelash, don't even show up. But suddenly the guest list started multiplying like it had a group chat of its own. Childhood friends from Cleveland, teammates, music industry giants, everyone who's ever breathed near Taylor or caught a football from Travis apparently wants a seat. What was supposed to be a tiny romantic moment is now threatening to become, Met Gala wedding edition, or think of it like Kris Jenner's recent 007 birthday bash. Like, if you weren't invited, are you even somebody? I'm still having FOMO. And the couple, they're not impressed. Word behind the scenes is that they're pissed their private plans leaked at all, because once the media gets a whiff, it becomes a circus. Suddenly you need more security than a Marvel movie screening and about 3 decoy ceremonies. And nobody wants paparazzi ziplining into their first kiss. So now they're reportedly rethinking everything. The mansion might still happen, but maybe with a second bigger ceremony somewhere else, or they might just ditch the whole original idea entirely and go huge, massive resort, Tennessee estate, maybe even a private island, because when your privacy gets blown up, the options become go bigger or go home or cry into your Grammy shelf. And here's the gag. All this chaos is not about cold feet. They actually want a short engagement. They want to get married. They're just trying to outrun the leaks, the gossip, and the people who treat their wedding plans like a national emergency. It's giving we wanted roses and vows, not 500 plus ones and a drone swarm. It's giving we just wanted peace, and now we need a security team that rivals the Secret Service. And it's honestly giving, why is everyone like this? So yeah, Taylor and Travis are reportedly furious their private plans, leaked, scrambling to pivot, and trying to salvage, the intimacy of their big moment. But knowing these two, even if they have to rebuild the entire wedding blueprint from scratch, they'll still pull off something iconic. Whether it's a tiny ceremony, a massive spectacle, or both. Either way, buckle up, because if this is the drama before the wedding, the actual event might just break the internet.
Travis Kelce just exposed Taylor Swift's private life, and he didn't even know he did it. Yeah, the man who can throw a touchdown can't catch a lyric, and the internet is losing it. If you thought the Travis and Taylor saga couldn't get messier, buckle up. Because in one painfully awkward podcast moment, Travis turned what should have been a harmless joke into a full-blown Swiftie crisis. And honey, nobody is letting this slide. Here's what happened. On his podcast, which at this point is less football, more Taylor Swift commentary hour, a fan comment popped up. Cute, right? Except it referenced a lyric from Taylor's latest album, and Travis stared blankly. No recognition. No, oh yeah, nothing. When someone explained it to him, he laughed awkwardly and said Taylor might be mad at him. Harmless? Cute? Wrong. Dating the most dissected woman on the planet means nothing is harmless. Every word, every laugh, every glance becomes evidence. Swifties noticed. Of course they noticed. This wasn't just missing a lyric, this was ignoring sacred text. Travis missed a line allegedly about him. People noticed. And now, the timing couldn't be worse. Wedding rumors? On pause. No date, no hints, just silence. And in the Swift universe, silence is screaming. Insiders whisper Travis is overwhelmed. Football, business, fame at a level he's never experienced. And dating Taylor Swift? Darling, this is not a relationship. It's a public spectacle with a global fandom watching your every move. Non-stop questions, wedding speculation, expectations. Some reports suggest he's juggling emotions, career, and public pressure all at once. So yeah, that podcast moment, fans didn't see a joke, they saw a crack in the armor. Taylor Swift is famously private. She controls her narrative like a surgeon. She gives the world exactly what she wants, and nothing more. Travis? He didn't just miss a lyric, He opened the door to something Taylor never asked for, something she didn't control. Instead of an inside joke, it went viral. Instead of privacy, it became speculation. Instead of cute, it became uncomfortable. Swifties went full detective mode, rewatching clips, reading body language, comparing interviews, analyzing tone, questioning if Travis is really as invested as everyone thinks. So, did Travis Kelce ruin Taylor Swift's privacy? Maybe not forever, but he cracked the door open, and the internet kicked it wide open. If Travis isn't careful, this won't just be a viral moment, it'll be the moment people look back on and say, yeah, that's when things started to change.
A resurfaced video from 2011 shows Taylor playing a celebrity quiz game during an appearance on The Rachel Ray Show when she was just 21 years old. Rachel asked her a series of rapid-fire celebrity questions, and Taylor responded by holding up a photo of the celebrity she would choose. Now, celebrities included Diddy, Madonna, and J-Lo. Now, when asked who she would take to prom, Taylor responded it would be a group, and it would be a really fun group. Boy, you're going on a freaky prom date, Rachel said, and Taylor then held up pictures of who would be in the group. This included Diddy, Katy Perry, Jennifer Lopez, Justin Timberlake, and Sheryl Crow, which is honestly such an interesting choice. Why that spectacular array of people, Rachel asked, and Taylor responded by saying, because all these different reasons. Well, Katy would be so much fun. She's just like crazy fun, like spontaneous. Diddy's always been very nice to me, adding, he would be fun in the prom group. He's a gentleman, isn't he? He's a lovely gentleman, Rachel then chimed in, and Taylor agreed. Now, these comments resurfaced and made headlines after the clip was shared in a since deleted TikTok video, and several fans claimed the clip didn't age well. As a millennial, we looked up to those people, we didn't know what was really going on. This is like fearless speak now Taylor, she's like 19 to 21 here, one person commented. Back when we were so naive, a second added, while a third wrote, this aged like milk. Now, Taylor has been seen with Diddy in passing, like how they took a photo together at the 2023 VMAs, but she hasn't been attached to any of his parties or hanging out with him outside of award shows. It just seems like bad timing that she said this in the past, considering what we know now. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce just announced their engagement in a cute Instagram post, but some fans are worried about red flags in their relationship. Now, remember when they first started dating and a relationship contract was leaked? Well, some people still believe this, and that their relationship is fake and PR. And I mean, the people who think this do have some valid points, as it's very strange timing to announce an engagement while Taylor is in the middle of an album rollout titled The Life of a Showgirl. Now, is this just for show? Maybe. I mean, when you Google Taylor Swift and the announcement, there's confetti on her Google page with a heart button and the phrase, and baby, that's show business for you, moving around on the screen. Now, it's just so suspicious the timing of all of this. Not to mention, they announced the engagement 13 days after Taylor appeared on Travis and his brother Jason's podcast. And on the podcast, Taylor spoke about how much she loves numbers and finding a way to incorporate 13 into her life. Now, many fans think this is an Easter egg, but the thing is, in that very same interview, Taylor said she would never Easter egg her real life. So, is the engagement not real then? Is it not a part of her personal life? Is it all for show? For this showgirl? Some fans think all of this is just performance art, and regardless, it is quite interesting the timing of all of this. Now, whether this relationship is true or not, there will always be doubters expressing their opinions and calling them out. And if the relationship is real, it's pretty crappy to think that a bunch of people think you're lying. And then there's also the fact of the couple's privacy. Apparently, the couple got engaged 2 weeks ago, which is great because the information didn't leak to the world, but now that they have announced it to the world, Travis's dad, Ed Kelce, has been talking non-stop about the couple to the press. Now, Ed revealed Travis actually did the proposal, maybe 2 weeks ago. Travis had these plans to do it the next weekend before flying out to Brazil for Kansas Kansas City Chiefs game against the Los Angeles Chargers on September 5th. He was gonna make a big production out of it someplace and wanted to make it a bit special, Ed continued. I told him the same thing Scott Swift told him, that's Taylor Swift's dad. Asking her is what's going to make it special. It's not where you do it, you know what I mean? You could do it on the side of the road. He added, just get it done, don't worry about any special date, just you're ready, you got the ring, do it. Now Travis ended up listening to the advice of his dad and future father-in-law and proposed to Taylor in his garden. He got her out there, they were about to go to dinner, Ed said. Let's go out and have a glass of wine. They go out there and that's when he asked her and it was beautiful, he added. They started FaceTiming me and their mother and her folks to make sure everyone knew. So to see them together is great, he added. In another interview, Ed revealed that his son asked Taylor's dad, Scott Swift, for his blessing to marry his daughter a month ago. With someone revealing this much information, it could interfere with the couple's privacy and who knows what will happen. Now, other details about the wedding have yet to been revealed, but it will be a wedding of the lifetimes for sure.
The sun is out, but Taylor Swift's got a ton of shade for Blake Lively and Kanye West. Here's everything I know. Taylor Swift has done it again, set the internet ablaze without even realizing, without even releasing a single note. She's revealed her track list for her upcoming 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, which is dropping October 3rd, 2025, and fans are already spiraling into full-blown investigation mode. Not just over the glitzy, over-the-top visuals or the show-stopping title, but because it looks like Taylor might be using her microphone as a scalpel, throwing subtle shade at Blake Lively, and maybe even leaving the door cracked for speculation about Kanye West. The main spark? Well, track 6, which is Ruin the Friendship. In true Swiftie tradition, people are connecting the dots faster than the Amy Bradley crime board in the Netflix documentary. It comes on the heels of reports that Taylor and Blake, once Hollywood's, Golden Girl BFF duo, aren't currently speaking. Their alleged fallout stems from Blake's very public legal feud with It Ends With Us director and co-star Justin Baldoni. Taylor's name became part of the courtroom conversation after claims that she pressured Baldoni about script edits Blake wanted. Then came the Sabina drama, where a judge allowed Baldoni's team to access Taylor's communications with Blake. Even if nothing scandalous is found, the optics really messy. Now Swifties, they're never ones to miss a beat. They zeroed in on Ruin the Friendship and another track titled Cancelled as possible lyrical jabs. The theory? Well, Taylor may be, immortalizing their friendship's downfall in the song. Social media is flooded with posts from fans saying they're sure these titles are about Blake. But here's the catch. Most of The Life of a Showgirl was reportedly recorded during Taylor's 2024 Eras Tour, which means some of these tracks could predate any friendship drama. That raises the question, did Taylor predict the fallout, or are fans just making connections that simply don't exist? Now, beyond the gossip fuel, the album's aesthetic is pure high glam theater. It's the kind of project you can tell Taylor crafted with a wink. She reunited with hitmakers Max Martin and Shellback, and the visuals, shot by Merton Marcus, they basically channel old Hollywood showgirl energy with kind of a modern twist. Think feathers, sequins, porcelain skin, and just a hint of danger. The tracklist is a mix of intrigue and romance, The Fate of Ophelia, Wishlist, Eldest Daughter, Actually Romantic, Honey, and a Sabrina Carpenter collaboration that's already a trending topic. And because it's Taylor, these political tea, might be steeping in the background too. Rumors suggest there could be a thinly veiled jab at the president, woven between the glitter and heartbreak. But in true Swift fashion, it's never just about shade. There are, the signature love songs we've come to expect. Titles like Actually Romantic and, Opalite, a sound Taylor made to gush about Travis Kelce, her NFL star boyfriend. Fans are predicting slow burn ballads alongside upbeat tracks that could double as touchdown celebrations. Now about Kanye. Yes, his name has been thrown into the chatter because, well, his name always gets thrown into the chatter when Taylor releases new music. But this time, there's zero credible evidence that he is a target in The Life of a Showgirl. That doesn't mean the internet, won't still run with it, but for now, Yeezy appears to be sitting this round out. So is Taylor Swift really, shading Blake Lively? The track list, the legal drama, and the timing line up almost too perfectly. It wouldn't be the first time Taylor kind of laced personal history into her lyrics like a secret code for fans to decipher, but with her, the truth is always in the music. So until October 3rd, we're left reading between the sequins. One thing's for sure, The Life of a Showgirl is shaping up to be equal parts spectacle, story, and scandal. Exactly the kind of Taylor Swift era that keeps the world talking. Taylor Swift is unrecognizable and has ruined her face. Life of a Showgirl? Girl, you better slow down. 35-year-old Taylor Swift showed up looking almost unrecognizable after her latest appearance. Yes, you heard me right. What happened to the face we all knew? It all went down down on the Graham Norton show, where Taylor made her first interview in years to promote her new album, The Life of a Showgirl. It was supposed to be a night of glamour, music talk, and maybe wedding teasers. Instead, the internet exploded, not over her voice or her lyrics, but over her look. Now, fans and critics alike were doing double takes. Was it the makeup, the lighting, or did Taylor Swift really cross into the territory of heavy enhancements? Some observers claimed her once soft facial contours now look swollen, overly plumped, and lacking the delicate structure she used to have. Her eyelids, they're more open, sharper. Her cheeks, well, they're more filled out, they're a little fuller. And her expression, well, somewhere between frozen and unfamiliar. The overall effect, an almost alien version of the Taylor we used to know. But here's where it gets interesting. A few plastic surgery experts chimed in to remind us cheek filler, Botox, and lighting tricks can all dramatically shift someone's appearance. One surgeon pointed out that what looks like surgical intervention might just be contouring, angled lighting, or clever makeup. Meanwhile, a rep for Taylor reportedly denied she's had any cosmetic surgery. But, people aren't convinced. So, did Taylor ruin her face? I mean, did she just lean a little too hard into aesthetics, or was everyone too quick to judge based on one flashy, over-edited TV moment? I mean, photos from the show circulated super fast, and on Reddit, the roasting was instant. People said she's fully into pillow face territory, it's scary, all those drastic changes aged her 10 years. Another person said she looks like every other botched celebrity in Hollywood now. Ouch. I mean, that is kind of harsh, but comments like these feed the wildfire of speculation. Some called out the irony. Taylor's always preached stay true to yourself, yet now her face looks like someone else's blueprint. Meanwhile, the show itself wasn't drama-free. Rumor has it that during filming, actress Jodie Turner-Smith asked Swift if she planned on having babies. Now, the question was later cut from the broadcast, and host Graham Norton reportedly shut it down on the spot, calling it an off-camera conversation. Taylor, for her part, brushed off the baby talk with a quip about no under 18 guests and promised you'll know when the wedding invites drop. So what do we take away from all this? First, celebrities are under a microscope, and one angle or one filter can make or break how the world sees you. Second, we live in an era where enhanced features are so normalized, it's hard to tell where makeup ends and surgery begins. And third, beauty standards are a trap, especially when you're already defined as iconic. So Taylor can deny or deflect all she wants, but one thing's certain, her face that night had people talking, and whether she ruined it or just allowed it to evolve is up to interpretation. Either way, it's a stark reminder that in 2025, even your own face can become a viral conspiracy. So stay tuned, because the next Taylor era might not just be about music, it might be about identity.
Now, just a couple days after Taylor ended her Eras tour, she made her way to Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City to spend some time with the patients and their family members. She surprised them, took photos and videos, and even made some TikToks with fans. But as she was leaving, there was an extremely awkward moment between her and one of her team members. In the video, Taylor was seen exiting the facility surrounded by security and staff members, but when one started chastising a fan for videotaping her, Taylor was not so happy. The clip began with Taylor walking down a long hallway as the fan filming yelled from behind the camera, "Thank you for coming." Taylor grinned and waved at the fan, but suddenly a woman who was a part of Taylor's team started yelling at the person who was recording. "You're not supposed to be filming," she said angrily. But Taylor quickly came to the fan's defense as she grabbed the woman who was reprimanding her by the shoulders and turned her body away from the fan, adding, "It's okay, it's okay." Now, many people applauded Taylor for her reaction, while others slammed the lady for embarrassing her. "The way she grabbed that lady by both arms to shut her up, Tay said no being rude on my watch," one person tweeted. "We do not deserve her at all, not in the slightest, not even a little bit, not even at all," said another. "Not the old lady embarrassing her, OMG, it's a hospital worker filming, not some paparazzi," someone else added. While fans noticed that multiple other people were filming the star, they were trying to give this lady some grace, saying maybe she didn't want the person to film Taylor and post it right away, as it would give away her location and it could potentially become unsafe. And that makes sense, but if that was her intention, she could have been been way nicer about it. Now, it was also revealed that during her hospital visit, Taylor asked a little girl what she wanted for Christmas, and she told Taylor that she wanted a brand new Dyson Airwrap. The next day though, the girl got a present from Taylor herself. It was the Dyson Airwrap, which cost around $600. Taylor then added a handwritten note that said, "In case Santa doesn't come through." Now, this is honestly just so sweet and special. Now, while Taylor was there, she also brought copies of her Eras Tour book that was just released and signed some copies for some of the fans. It was also Taylor's 35th birthday on December 13th, and it's been revealed that her boyfriend Travis Kelce threw her a surprise birthday party, and the theme was her Eras Tour. Brittany Mahomes shared pictures from the recent celebration on Instagram, where she was seen wearing a shimmering silver fringe mini dress with knee-high boots that paid homage to Taylor's Fearless album. Her husband Patrick Mahomes wore a suit reminiscent of the "I Can Do It With a Broken Heart" costume change skit from the Eras Tour as well. Now, other pictures show Taylor in a black dress and her signature red lipstick with her hair pulled back. She posed with Brittany along with Chiefs wag Lindsay Bell, who rocked a lover-esque outfit, and Taylor's friend Ashley Avignon wore a snake around her neck in respects to the album Reputation. Now, partygoers dressed up for the theme with feather boas and colorful clothes to go with different albums and eras, and friendship bracelets and light-up bracelets were worn as well. Taylor had a meaningful and memorable celebration for her big day and was showered in gifts from Travis, who also gave her countless roses, said a source who spoke with Page 6. The insider revealed that Travis hired a private chef and bartender to cook and make cocktails for them. He had his gifts delivered beforehand so they would be a surprise. Now, the athlete also had jewelry engraved especially for Taylor, and it seemed like this was a nice way to end the year off for the star, as she's had such a huge year. Now, her 149-show Eras Tour reportedly earned a whopping $2 billion in ticket sales, according to the New York Times. Now, her tour was record-breaking as well. Not to mention, she released a new album this year, The Tortured Poets Department. Now, earlier this month, she made a post saying, "Top streamed artist and album on Spotify this year. You guys are unbelievable," she said in her Instagram stories. One amazing thing to find out going into our last weekend of Eras shows. Thank you. And I mean, she had over 26.6 billion Spotify streams in 2024, which is honestly just insane. While she did have a great year though, she also had her fair share of controversies. Foo Fighters frontman Dave Grohl blasted Taylor for her tour. He suggested that she only lip-syncs while on stage and dubbed her sellout tour the Eras Tour, while saying that his band actually plays live. While performing at the London Stadium, Dave referred to Taylor, who was playing the same night on the other side of the Capitol in Wembley, to boos from some fans. He addressed the crowd, "We were joking about the Taylor Swift tour earlier. I know that she's on her Eras Tour. I tell you, man, you don't want to suffer the wrath of Taylor Swift, so we like to call our tour the Eras Tour. We've had more than a few eras and more than a few effing errors as well. Just a couple." Now, the band leader then clarified that's because we actually play live. Now, to great cheers, he continued, "Just saying, you guys like raw live rock and roll music, right? You came to the right place." The next day though, as Taylor performed her third show, she addressed these comments. She wasn't going to let him disrespect her entire crew, as during the show she told her audience, "What you just did is an unforgettable moment in not just my life, but every very single one of our crew. The band that's going to be playing for you live for these 3.5 hours tonight, they deserve this so much, and so does every one of my fellow performers, and you just gave that to us so generously, we'll never forget it." Now, something that actually proves that she sings live is that night when she was strumming her guitar, standing at the mic, when she suddenly announced that she had swallowed a bug and asked the audience to pinch hit and sing the lyrics. Taylor did her best to continue to sing, but she soon stopped, turned to one side, and started coughing. Now, she made a quick recovery, jumping right back into the song and finishing it off flawlessly. Then Taylor was then called out when her and Travis attended the men's US Open because they weren't acting how they should have. At one point in the game, cameras panned to the celebrity couple as they belted out the iconic 2000s rock song, "I Believe in a Thing Called Love" by The Darkness in the stands, with a clip of the moment going viral online. While Taylor fans and a portion of tennis fans were in awe at her and Travis's sing-along, others took aim at the couple for lacking decorum and putting on a show for the cameras in New York. One user wrote on Twitter, "Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are pure cringe at the US Open. This looks completely forced and unnatural." Another commented, "No other couple in the celeb world would love the cameras this much. We're still not buying it." And a third said, "No one acts like a 15-year-old on her first booze cruise at the US Open. It's a US US Open, not a football game, and honky tonk, maybe just really trash versus class, I don't know. Now, not to mention, people were calling out their extensive PDA. Taylor and Travis were spotted standing up, hugging and kissing a lot throughout the game, but everyone around them was just sitting nicely and being quiet. A lot of people called out the couple for being obnoxious. But just a few weeks before this event, it was announced that Taylor and Travis's relationship was fake. A PR document was leaked and it showed an outline of what to do when Taylor and Travis broke up, which was set for September 28th. It had talking points about how they would announce the breakup and steps they would go through to make it seem mutual. Now, after it spread online, a spokesman for Full Scope, the company listed for orchestrating the fake relationship, insisted that it was entirely false and fabricated and was not created, issued, or authorized by this agency. Now, because this got leaked, some fans think that Taylor had been acting irrationally to get the conversation changed. I mean, after the supposed fake contract was leaked, Taylor and Travis were seen together non-stop. It seemed like they were working overtime to try to prove to the world that, oh, we're still together. Off we have Hide Me. Now, Taylor loves to hide in random places and have her team push her around. In 2017, she was hiding from the public due to her Kanye and Kim feud. Now, she didn't want people seeing her, and her fans speculated that she was hiding in a black suitcase that was always seen around her building, even though Taylor herself was never spotted. Then, in an interview with British Vogue, Zayn Malik seemed to confirm the long-standing rumor that Taylor actually does sometimes travel inside a giant suitcase. When asked about his relationship with Taylor and her ability to avoid paparazzi, his eyes went wide. She was traveling around in a suitcase, he revealed. Not to mention, one of her neighbors confirmed it to a gossip blog as well. Now, it appears that for her Eras tour, she's hiding in a janitor's cart so fans don't see her backstage. Fans who attended her concert in Arlington, Texas had finally caught her in the act. Now, prior to the show, fans noticed a large janitor's cart was being rolled towards the stage each night before the concert began, and they speculated that Taylor may have been hiding inside. Now, my question is, are these things made to order for her? What else has she hidden? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Next up is her green room. Showbiz reporter Dean McCarthy has said that in Taylor's green rooms, she needs an iced Americano from Starbucks delivered to her room at 11 a.m. Dean went on to say when she first started in the industry, she only wanted snacks in her dressing room. She used to just have edamame, beans, and some water and some snacks. But the Los Angeles-based reporter said as Taylor has become more popular, so have her demands while touring. Now she's gone to another level, he said. There's Red Bull, the energy drink, macaroni and cheese, and by 11 a.m. every single day of her tour, she has to have her Starbucks iced Americano delivered to her room. But hey, I think this could be way crazier. Then there's I can use my private jet. In the summer of 2022, Taylor was one of several celebrities who were called out for their private jet usage, which can contribute to an excess of CO2 emissions and harm the environment. Now, a study from the marketing firm Yard named Taylor as the #1 offender, alleging in a report Taylor's shortest recorded flight of 2022 was just 36 minutes, flying from Missouri to Nashville. Now, she was accused of polluting the earth by flying her private jet 170 times between January 1st and July 29th. Now, the research gathered by Yard shows results for which celebrities are the worst private jet CO2 emission offenders, with Taylor racking up more than 22,000 minutes in the air, or the equivalent of 16 days. Now, a spokesperson for Taylor issued a statement at the time noting, Taylor's jet is loaned out regularly to other individuals. To attribute most or all these trips to her is incorrect. Now, why even have a private jet though if you don't use it? Moving on to dating rules. We all know that Taylor and Travis Kelce have been dating for a while now, and it's been said that Taylor has set some crazy rules for him. Friends claim that Taylor has asked Travis to FaceTime her, not just text when they're apart, with a source noting that she didn't overtly say it, but she secretly wants to see where he is and who he's with. Taylor's a good judge of character and fears that some of his buddies are red flags. And it seems like Taylor just wants him to make good choices. It doesn't seem like she's trying to be so controlling. But this isn't all though. It's also been reported that additional rules for Travis include not going to strip clubs and getting pictures clicked with female fans. Now, this rule is to avoid any misleading dating rumors, but it appears the Chiefs star broke this rule when he went to a club with Patrick Mahomes as he continued his Super Bowl celebration. He visited a club in Las Vegas on on February 23rd, and according to Daily Mail, Travis was spotted surrounded by women and was seen speaking to some of them as they partied together. Now let's talk about Credit Me. In April 2016, when Taylor was still dating Calvin Harris, he released his iconic collab with Rihanna, This Is What You Came For. Now it's a great song, but it didn't take long for some Swifties to notice that there's one particular ooh 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 in the background that sounds a lot like Taylor. Now some of the fans were called crazy for this, but then a couple months later it turned out that they were right, which leads us to the identity of Nils Schaborg. Now Taylor didn't just provide backing vocals for the song, she actually helped Calvin write it. It was a big mess when the news was revealed, as it was just after their breakup, and Calvin actually denied that Taylor helped. There was a co-writer listed on the song credits called Nils Schaborg, and no one had ever heard of him, so Swifties just assumed that was Taylor's fake name for the track. Now, of course, they were right, which she confirmed by putting the name on a gravestone in the video for Look What You Made Me Do. She later told Paul McCartney in a conversation for Rolling Stone, "I wrote under the name Nils Schaborg because those are the two most popular names of Swedish males." So, there you have it. Then there's Change Your Style. Something else that Taylor seems to have an issue with Travis is his wardrobe. And I mean, I can't blame her. I've seen some pics of clothes he's worn in the past and they are just straight up ugly. Though she admits she's no fashionista, Taylor splashed out $500,000 to help Travis dress better, alleges a source, pointing out that the singer's own Super Bowl look alone cost over $60K. Taylor says she's not changing him, it's an evolution. Hey, if Taylor's willing to splash out the cash for this new look, why not embrace it? Now the source said the bottom line is that she feels they could really be endgame. She doesn't want to control him, just help. He's under a microscope now more than ever, noting the headline-making athlete currently appeared in commercials. Now Taylor's on tour and she sings 40+ songs and performs for over 3 hours a night. Now her shows are intense and you need to prepare for that. Taylor revealed her exercise routine and it is crazy. The tour required intense physical, mental, and emotional requirements, and Taylor told Time in an interview for 2023 Person of the Year that she wanted to subvert the fans to repay them for the effort they put in to attend her career retrospective concert. Taylor began getting into shape for the Eras Tour 6 months before her tour kicked off in March in Glendale, Arizona. Now her training regimen included running on the treadmill every day while singing the entire Eras setlist aloud, fast for fast songs, and jog or fast walk for slow songs, following a specialized strength, conditioning, and weights program at her gym, and doing 3 months of dance lessons. Before the show started, Taylor says she and her team camped out in the Glendale Stadium. "We actually got to be in the stadium for almost a month, running the show several times a week," she said, "so that was extremely helpful." Now unlike on her previous tours, during which Taylor said she behaved like a frat guy, she stopped drinking alcohol to prepare more rigorously. "I was really disciplined about drinking," she said. "I stopped drinking for a couple of months before the show, except for on Grammy night, which was hilarious. I gave myself a fun night for that one." She then kept up that practice throughout the tour's run. "Doing that show with a hangover," she said, "I do not want to know that world." And hey, I don't blame her. Now we have Stop Tracking My Private Jet. In late December, Taylor's team hit up Jack Sweeney, a junior studying information technology at the University of Central Florida. In the letter, attorneys from the law firm Venable accused Jack of effectively providing individuals intent on harming her with nefarious or violent intentions a roadmap to carry out their plans. Now Jack provided the link to that letter in an email to the Associated Press, and in that message he emphasized that while he never intended to cause harm, he also believes strongly in the importance of transparency and public information. "One should reasonably expect that their jet will be tracked, whether or not I'm the one doing it, as it is public information after all," he wrote. Now a spokesperson for Taylor echoed the legal complaint, saying that the timing of the stalkers suggest a connection to Jack's flight tracking sites. Now the problem was that he was updating in real time, which could put Taylor in danger, and her team wanted it to stop. She has had some very scary run-ins with stalkers, so I don't blame her for not wanting her live location updated all the time. Up next is Don't Ask Me About Karlie Kloss. In 2014, Taylor and her BFF Karlie Kloss were seen kissing at the 1975 show back in December. And Taylor's response to this? She tweeted about the gossip saying, "As my 25th birthday present from the media, I'd like you to stop accusing all my friends of dating me. #thirsty." Hey, you can kiss someone without dating them, but the idea of Taylor and Carly being in a relationship was then born. They even have a ship name, Taylor. Now, there's a side of the Taylor Swift fandom that believes that Taylor is secretly gay and that she's dated many women and left Easter eggs about these relationships in her music, but hey, she just wants you to stop accusing her of dating her friends, regardless of gender. And finally, there's Don't Hurt My Fans. A lot has happened at the Eras tour, but while performing in Philadelphia in May 2023, fans were shocked to see something that's never happened before. In a viral video, Taylor is mid-performance of her hit song Bad Blood when she notices something in the crowd that catches her attention. It appears that security were scolding a fan in the front row, and upon seeing this, Taylor took it upon herself to intervene. Noticing that the fan hadn't done anything wrong, Taylor said between lyrics, "She's fine," while motioning at security. Continuing to flawlessly perform the song, Taylor then shouted she wasn't doing anything to the security guard in question before starting to walk to a different part of the stage. However, the guard either didn't realize that she was talking to him or didn't care, and when Taylor noticed that they were still bothering the fan, she turned back and yelled, "Hey, stop." Needless to say, the star was widely praised for standing up for her fans. Don't mess with Swifties, especially in front of Taylor.
First off, we have Shake It Off, and it involved a lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed by Sean Hall and Nathan Butler, the songwriters behind Playas Gonna Play, a 2000 song by the R&B group 3LW that contains the lines "Playas they gonna play" and "Haters they gonna hate." They accused Swift of using those lines without permission or credit on Shake It Off, which was released in 2014 and became one of Swift's defining hits, notching 4 weeks at #1 on the Billboard singles chart. The lawsuit was eventually dismissed, and Taylor stated, "I have never heard the song Playas Gonna Play and have never heard of that song or the group 3LW," she said in the court filing. Getaway Car is another song that people are accusing Swift of stealing, and it involves another famous celebrity, Hilary Duff. Hilary, known for her hit Disney Channel show Lizzie McGuire, also had a successful music career after her departure from Disney Channel, and she has been going viral on the internet lately for her iconic performances on talk shows, but that's besides the point. Hilary put out a single called Breathe In, Breathe Out, and the song includes lyrics such as "X marks the spot where we fall in love." Sound familiar? Taylor Swift's Getaway Car has almost identical lyrics. "X marks the spot where we fell apart." Fans were quick to notice the similarities and express their disappointment with the singer, one user saying on Twitter, "Don't get me wrong, I love Taylor, but the second I heard that, I immediately thought of Hilary. Honestly, a bit disappointed." Another user wrote, "Really, Taylor? You're gonna rip off Hilary Duff's Breathe In, Breathe Out on Getaway Car and think we won't notice? X marks the spot where we fell apart? Okay, hashtag reputation." Our next song on the list is Wildest Dreams. Taylor has drawn quite a few criticisms for biting Lana Del Rey's style in a few ways. Most notably, listeners cite how much the choruses for Swift's Wildest Dreams and Lana Del Rey's Without You sound alike, to the point that there are some pretty great mashups on YouTube. The Taylor Swift song also shares elements of the song Young and Beautiful by Miss Lana Del Rey. Are the superstars in a feud because of it? No, actually, both Lana and Taylor seem to be quite friendly, most recently collaborating on a song called Snow on the Beach. Fans loved the song, but one thing was quite troubling. Lana was nowhere to be heard. Lana was apparently featured on the song, but fans couldn't hear her singing at all. Do their voices just blend perfectly, or did Taylor purposely remove Lana from the song as a way of getting back for all the Wildest Dreams drama? I guess we'll never know. Taylor has been accused for more than just stealing songs. Kanye West has accused her of stealing his merch designs. The Kanye West and Taylor Swift feud is well documented, but Yeezy stans couldn't help notice a couple aesthetic choices Taylor made in her Reputation era were reminiscent of the rapper's Life of Pablo style. First, First, they noticed the font used on her tour promotional materials was really similar to one on several pieces of merch Kanye was selling in his pop-up stores. Then she showed up wearing a Marc Jacobs embellished camouflage jacket that also gave people Kanye vibes. This just adds to all the Taylor versus Kanye drama, and if you don't remember how that feud began, let me quickly remind you. The moment that started it all, when Taylor Swift was awarded an award for Best Female Video for You Belong With Me in 2009, Kanye climbed the stairs at the award show to interrupt Taylor's acceptance speech with the now infamous proclamation, "Yo Taylor, I'm really happy for you, I'ma let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time." Shortly after, a stunned Swift told reporters, "I was standing on stage and I was really excited because I just won the award. Then I was really excited because Kanye West was on stage, and then I wasn't excited anymore after that." Along with Taylor's album Lover, she released a Lover poetry book. Well, another author tried to sue Taylor for insane similarities. The lawsuit claimed that Swift had borrowed a number of visual elements from the author, including pastel pinks and blues and an image of the author photographed in a downward pose. She also claimed a copyright to the book's overall format, including a recollection of past years memorialized in a combination of written and pictorial components and an interspersed photographs and writings. Just one problem. In their response in February, Swift's lawyers said those elements were nothing more than commonplace features of almost any book, meaning they fall well short of being unique to qualify for copyright protection. Beyonce also had some trouble with Taylor after her 2019 Billboard Music Awards performance. Taylor Swift opened up her live performance of the song Me with a drum line that had a lot of viewers at home wondering if they were about to see a surprise Beyonce performance, but instead, Taylor Swift came out and struck a pose. To say it was reminiscent of Beyonce's Homecoming is an understatement, and Twitter users were quick to share their opinions. How come nobody on Taylor Swift's team told her that completely and very poorly ripping off Beyonce was not a good look, one user wrote. Another user said, "Taylor Swift really stole Beyonce's set like that?" But get this, Taylor Swift's director for the Bad Blood music video is now accusing Beyonce of stealing ideas for her Formation music video. The director says they tried to say she's wearing a black crop top and Beyonce wore a black crop top, but they don't realize in 2015 in Bad Blood, Taylor Swift was wearing a black crop top already. I really do think, by the way, that Beyonce copied Bad Blood, he says. Now, this next story was highly publicized and has Taylor Swift as the victim of stealing. She's the victim this time. On June, I'm gonna do that one more time. Now, this next story was highly publicized and now has Taylor Swift as the victim. On June 30th, 2019, the American singer-songwriter came in dispute with her former record label, Big Machine Records, and its new owner, Scooter Braun, over the ownership of the masters of her first 6 studio albums. It was a highly publicized dispute, drawing widespread media coverage and led Swift to release the re-recorded albums Fearless, Red, Speak Now, and 1989 from 2021 through 2023 to gain complete ownership of her music. Scooter Braun had become the owner of all of the masters' music videos and artworks, including those of Swift's first 6 studio albums. In response, Swift stated that she had tried to purchase the masters, but Big Machine Records had offered unfavorable conditions and she knew the label would sell them to somebody else instead. Scooter Braun purchased Big Machine Records in 2019 and became the owner of the masters of Swift's first 6 albums, which he later sold to Shamrock Holdings in 2020. Consequently, Big Machine Records and Taylor Swift were embroiled in a series of disagreements leading to further friction. Swift alleged that the label blocked her from using her music for the 2019 American Music Awards and her documentary on Netflix, Miss Americana. Swift announced she would re-record the 6 albums and own the new masters herself. Swift continued to express her disapproval about Scooter Braun and again rejected another offer made by Shamrock Holdings. Next, one of Taylor's first cases of stealing goes all the way back to her 2008 hit You Belong With Me. Taylor was accused of stealing lyrics and concepts from a band band called Saving Jane and their song titled Girl Next Door. Taylor most likely copied and reformatted the concept of Girl Next Door itself, giving it a more upbeat, energetic pop sound to counter the grittier pop rock vibe of the original song. The concepts of both music videos are also eerily similar, all the way down to the ongoing feud between the evil popular brunette and the geeky down-to-earth girl with glasses. The most obvious lift, though, is the lyrical similarities from the chorus Girl Next Door and the pre-chorus of You Belong With Me. Here's the Girl Next Door lyrics. She's the prom queen, I'm in the marching band, she's a cheerleader, I'm sitting in the stands. Now, here's Taylor's lyrics. But she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts, she's cheer captain, and I'm on the bleachers. Wow, Taylor. Really? Next, Taylor Swift was accused of stealing lyrics from singer-songwriter Matt Nathanson. Possibly Taylor Swift's most critically acclaimed song, All Too Well, has sadly also been accused of lyrical plagiarism, lifting a lyric more or less verbatim. And I forget about you long enough to forget why I need to. That is Matt Nathanson's lyric, and this is Taylor's lyric. And I forget about you long enough to forget why I needed to. Wow, eerily similar. According to Spin magazine in 2012, Nathanson wrote in a since-deleted tweet, "She's definitely a fan, and now she's a thief." Last but not least, let's chat about the Olivia Rodrigo-Taylor Swift feud. Although this story doesn't necessarily involve stealing, Rodrigo is known to take heavy inspiration from Swift's writing techniques. Olivia and Taylor were very friendly after the release of her breakout hit Driver's License, but after Taylor Swift invited Sabrina Carpenter to open for her on the Eras tour, Olivia was apparently very offended. If you don't know, her song Driver's License is reportedly about Olivia's ex Joshua Bassett cheating on her with Sabrina Carpenter. Months after Taylor dropped the Sabrina Carpenter news, Olivia released the song Vampire with lyrics like, "I used to think I was smart, but you've made me look so naive."
Celeb scoundrel number 10, our girl Katy Perry. How the drama ball starts rolling is during a 2014 Rolling Stone interview where Taylor, ever the vague insinuator, for some reason chose to talk about a nameless celebrity who, for years, I was never sure if we were friends or not, Taylor said. She would come up to me at award shows and say something and walk away, and I would think, are we friends? Or did she just give me the harshest insult of my life? Then she did something so horrible. I was like, oh, we are just straight up enemies. She basically tried to sabotage an entire arena tour. She hired a bunch of people out from under me. When you give out that much information, you might as well have the guts to drop the name as well, because it took essentially zero time for folks to figure out she was talking about Katy. It's 3 years into their beef when Perry approaches this subject, with James Corden in her May interview stating that the employees Swift was referring to were dancers that Katy had already known, used, and had close friendships with. And they even had it stipulated in their contracts they could leave Swift's tour to hit the road with Perry when the time came. And when the dancers approached Swift's management in regards to doing exactly that, Perry said they were fired. She claimed Swift also refused to discuss the matter with her. This feud went on to pack some serious punches. They fought on Twitter, where Katy called her a Regina George in sheep's clothing, and then Taylor released Bad Blood, which was almost definitely about Katy apparently. Then we see Swift put her entire catalog on streaming services on the day that Perry releases her Witness album. And then Swift dropped Look What You Made Me Do the same day as Perry's Swish Swish video premiered. So, the feud went unresolved for years until 2018, when Katy sent Taylor a literal olive branch as a peace offering on the opening night of her Reputation tour. The following year, Katy appeared in Taylor's star-studded music video, You Need to Calm Down. And all was well in the world of Taylor and Katy. Number 9 is Diplo. Now famous for trudging through miles of mud with Chris Rock to get out of Burning Man, Diplo's made headlines for plenty of reasons in his career, usually unsavory ones, if I'm being honest, and who'd have thunk it. But when he was boinking Katy Perry back in 2014 in the midst of these two feuding, because I guess there's no other professionally trained dancers out there people can hire,
Diplo decided to be a dipstick and say some pretty uncool things. Namely, one tweet where he straight up said someone should make a Kickstarter to get Taylor Swift a booty. Yeesh, dude, that's a tad too far. And let me say, it wasn't even cancel culture era yet and folks came for Diplo's throat. While Taylor never responded, everyone's favorite soulful sun girl Lorde swept in with the iconic retort, should we do something about your tiny while we're at it? Earning over 20,000 retweets. When asked in 2019, however, Diplo did comment that making that tweet was one of the worst decisions of his career. A fair remark seeing as it's not only accurate, but he was in a relationship at the time that made him biased towards the situation and say something stupid he shouldn't. Celebrity insult or overreaction number 8 is Tina and Amy, aka Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. That's not that I should have to tell you that. So, famous respectively for their dicey and quirky comedy, these two women are a notorious pair who flourish when working together. Naturally, that's why they're paired to host the 2013 Golden Globes, where the two women chose to poke fun at Taylor's serial dating habits while on stage. Now, to give some context to the situation, 2013 was a year where this was a hot button topic, with everybody and their mother chirping in on Taylor's dating life, making it become a conversation more than about Taylor Swift herself and rather about a young woman experiencing dating culture differently than men in the society we live in. Naturally, that being the case, like anything hip in the news, it made its way into the Globes' speech, where Amy and Tina made some throwaway jokes about avoiding Michael J. Fox's son and using some time to learn about herself. To the surprise of many people, including Tina and Amy, Taylor actually felt insulted. She went so far as to tell Vanity Fair that there's a special place in hell for women who don't help other women. Whoa, okay. I'm not gonna lie again, not really up to date with celebrities, but everything I read about the situation, that's a pretty far jump in reaction to the commentary made. But Faye was taken aback by Swift taking the comedy bit so seriously, and she told Entertainment Tonight, I did not see that one coming. It was a joke, and it was a lighthearted joke, and it's a shame she didn't take it in the crazy aunt spirit way in which it was intended. Amy, when asked, told The Hollywood Reporter, I feel bad if she was upset. I am a feminist. She is a young and talented girl. That being said, I do agree I'm going to hell, but for other reasons, mostly boring tax stuff. Swift's jump earned her some side-eye teasing from the ladies, notably at the 2014 Golden Globes when Faye told Fuller there's a special place in hell for her, in December 2015 during a Saturday Night Live sketch. Next up on the Taylor insult train is number 7. It's a guy named Ed Drost. So he's the frontman of Grizzly Bear. He's friends with another band called Haim. Taylor Swift is friends with the dudes from Haim. Alright, so what he did wrong is he was super apathetic towards her in 2012. I know, and that came from a tweet that said, super relieved Taylor Swift is up for another award, was worried she didn't have enough, #feud. Remember when folks were putting hashtags like that in sentences? Anyways, in 2015, he goes on a machismo-riddled rage fest on social media, which sounds a little like this. I finally feel comfortable expressing my distaste for the rudest, fakest person I've ever met, #liberating, I'm done dragging, but I'm glad people recognize this skunk finally, #trust. I don't understand the last sentence, but he did post a photo of an article describing Swift's alleged hyper-control of her squad with said social media post. Drost then followed that by saying, obsessed that people are catching on. I think this article really sums up how people who are taken really feel. She's being given a free pass for too long, plus first-hand experience, I have a whole other story to tell. Still feels unsafe though, she frightens me genuinely. Well, we never heard Drost's story because too many of Taylor's squad went on to attack the dude like Gigi Hadid and Martha Hunt, and he deleted his Twitter account. The end. For 6, it's Miley Cyrus. Imagine my surprise learning these two aren't friends because I felt like they would be friends. But from what I read today, this was only the case in the good old Hannah Montana days when Taylor was like the Waverly voiced country folk singer and Miley was the wig wearing spunkster. But it seems there was no vendetta, simply that the women grew apart as their careers turned them from kids to adults. However, Miley opens her mouth and doesn't mince a word when it comes to her dislike nowadays, especially in reference to the girl power peddling of Taylor. I'm not trying to be in the squad, Cyrus told the New York Times when asked in 2015, referencing Taylor's infamous group of girlfriends. None of my friends are famous, and not because of any other reason than I just like real people who are living real lives because I'm inspired by them. The same month, Cyrus went on to vent to Marie Claire about Swift's Bad Blood video. I don't get the violence revenge thing. That's supposed to be a good example, and I'm a bad role model. This commentary, while insulting to Taylor, absolutely should be acknowledged with context. Miley, unlike Taylor, being a Disney star, had critical and harsh expectations she needed to follow. So not only in the performance, but in her appearance, and she went through a lot of this alone. So if she wore a t-shirt wrong, she'd be smeared in the media, but Taylor can pop out with a girl squad, and all of them fit unrealistic body standards and aesthetics that Miley was held to, and they received no critique. This would 100% inspire some bitterness, and it still seems to exist today. Number 5. Calvin Harris. So the pair collaborated on Harris's projected song, This Is What You Came For, to create the world's most evilly ingrained earworm. Because they reportedly didn't want to draw attention to their relationship through music, Swift used a pseudonym, Nils Schulberg, in the song's credits. Harris stuck to their mutual plan, and even when the radio personality Ryan Seacrest asked him if he'd ever worked with his then girlfriend, Calvin stated, "You know, we haven't spoke about a collaboration, I can't really see it happening though." Immediately after the split, butthurt Calvin drops the song, and Taylor's team wastes no time going, actually, Taylor helped make this. And to quote TMZ report, Swift's squad was sick of Calvin trashing Taylor and feel he should be thanking her for quietly giving him a smash hit. Anyway, who's to say? But on the topic of saying stuff, Calvin's response to the immediate attack on him was, "I figured if you're happy in your new relationship, you should focus on that instead of trying to tear down your ex-boyfriend for something to do." Hurtful to me at this point that she and her team would go so far their way to try and make me look bad at this stage. But I know you're off tour and you need someone new to try and bury like Katie, etc, but I'm not that guy. Sorry, I won't allow it. Damn, Calvin popped off. I'm kind of impressed the guy who makes music could actually spit bars. For number 4, we're gonna do Demi Lovato. So, these two had a bestie in common in their late teen years, and that's Selena Gomez. And like two girls who are both best friends with a third, but not with each other, there just had to be drama. So first up, we got Exhibit A, the infamous 2010 interview video of her quipping, "Ask Taylor," when asked about their mutual BFF, Selena. Lovato's taste for Swift apparently intensified during the 1989 era tour, when Swift began preaching about feminism and squad goals. Context again, people. Disney star. She used to be a Disney star. I think in certain situations, certain people could be doing more if they're going to claim feminism as part of their brand, Lovato told Glamour in 2016. To be honest, and this is probably going to get me in trouble, I don't see anybody in any sort of squad that has a normal body. It's kind of this false image of what people should look like and what they should be like, and it's not real. I think having a song in a video about tearing Katy Perry down, that's not women's empowerment. 3 is Nicki Minaj, who back in 2015, Nicki tweeted her frustration that Anaconda wasn't nominated for Video of the Year at the VMAs by saying, "If your video celebrates women with very slim bodies, you will be nominated for Vid of the Year." And she ain't wrong, but Taylor took a leap of faith that it was about her instead of, asking, and fires back publicly, "I've done nothing but love and support you. It's unlike you to pit women against each other. Maybe one of the men took your slots." Then she invited the rapper to take the stage with her, saying, "Nicki's invited to any stage I'm ever on." It felt holier than thou. Nicki hit back saying she definitely wasn't referring to Taylor with those tweets, and partially blamed the media for immediately assuming she was talking about Taylor, and now the slew of other videos nominated over hers featuring slim women. Taylor then apologized to Nicki, and then at the show, Taylor joined Nicki on stage to sing "The Night Is Still Young" and a few lines from Bad Blood, so it's fine. Number 2, it's Camilla Bell. So once Joe Jonas broke up with Taylor, he started dating Camilla Bell. This led Taylor to write the song Better Than Revenge about the actress, which if you listen to it, even when it came out, let alone now, it's gross and shamey. So Camilla never publicly responded to this song, which is fair seeing as the lyric was, "She's not a saint and she's not what you think. She's an actress. She's better known for the things that she does on the mattress." Oh, yeah, if some 18-year-old's saying that about me, I'd probably ignore it too. The only time Camilla made a peep, she made it during the Nicki versus Taylor Twitter smackdown, finding it ironic to parade the pit against women against other women argument about as one unmeasurably capitalizes on the takedown of a woman. Camilla Bell replied to this, "Couldn't have said it better myself." Whew! Now that's tough, Taylor, and it seemingly did the trick, because Taylor Swift, now a grown woman, used her re-recording as an opportunity to right some wrongs, changing the lyrics to be, "He was a moth to flame, she was holding the matches." To quote her in an interview as to why she made the change, in case it wasn't blindingly obvious, "That's the age you are when you think someone can actually take your boyfriend. Then you grow up and realize no one can take someone from you if they don't want to leave." Number 1, Kanye. Everyone's tired of hearing of it, and Kanye by now. But you can't talk Taylor without talking about Kanye, and not because he tried to claim he made her career. Kanye quite literally climbs on stage, takes the mic, starts talking crap, and saying she didn't deserve the award. It was 2009, Taylor's young as hell, and this is a Hollywood star who's berating her, so she just kind of awkwardly stands there holding the award until others begin to intervene. The pair makes amends a few years later. He sends her some flowers, some shoes, all seems well, but then the other Yeezy dropped, as did the track Famous. In the music video, So he, for some reason, commissioned a nude wax figure of her and writes a lyric about banging her and another one about her being the B word. Taylor complained about it, and rightfully effing so, because that's insane behavior. And then along comes Kim Kardashian. Taylor said she hadn't given permission for Kanye to use her name like that, and Kim, who was then married to Kanye, uploaded a video to Snap that implied Taylor did in fact give consent. Taylor swaps her statement to saying she's reluctantly fine with the intercourse lyric if this is the way things had to be. Anyway, in 2020, the full version of Kim's video was released, which proves she did in fact alter the video before uploading it. Anyways, Taylor did still raise complaints about being called a B-word since she never agreed to that, and that's one even Kim can't argue. A few songs on Taylor's 2017 Reputation are speculated to be about Kim and Kanye as a result, including This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things.
Number 10. Harry Styles. The Watermelon Sugar singer briefly formed one of the most iconic pop power couples of all time when Taylor revealed that they were an item in 2012. Being dubbed Haylor, the couple met at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards after Taylor was filmed dancing to Harry's performance with her backstage bestie Selena Gomez. It was confirmed that they were an item when Taylor paid Harry a visit during the X Factor rehearsals ahead of her performance on the show. They were caught getting cozy by onlookers, and they were not shy about the PDA. After going on a trip to the Caribbean together in 2013, they returned having decided to split. There was never any confirmation on why they split, but there also seemed to be no ill will between anyone. At this year's Golden Globes, the two met once again on the red carpet, and there was nothing but joy. Whatever went down back in the day, the fame that came from the hashtag Haylor was well worth it. Number 9. Joe Jonas. Another high-profile, short-lived romance came from Camp Rock star Joe Jonas. The couple started dating under the radar in 2008, but were official that summer. The truth was revealed when Taylor and Joe performed together on stage at a handful of concerts on his Burnin' Up tour. Despite the world being pretty excited to see where the relationship was headed, before it was even Christmas, she was on the Ellen DeGeneres show calling out how Joe broke up with her in a 25-second phone call. Breaking up over the phone is his favorite thing to do. He just did it to Sophie a few weeks ago, so that's nice. Following her appearance on the show, he addressed the situation by half admitting to and half disputing Taylor's claims, even correcting her by saying it was actually a 27-second conversation. Okay? They were forced to perform together on New Year's Eve live on TV that year, noticeably being placed on opposite ends of the stage. There's even a picture from that night where you can see Ryan Seacrest in the background, who understands what's happening because he's just like, yikes. The similarities between his split from Taylor and his split from Sophie Turner may be the reason that these two seem to be bonding more and more as the days go by. Number 8. Travis Kelce. This is the most recent entry to Taylor's library of possible partners. Travis Kelce is a football player for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Taylor was spotted attending one of his games this weekend. Okay, nothing out of the ordinary. But wait! There's more! Taylor was spotted attending the event with his mother! What? That's crazy! Literally sitting arm in arm together the entire night, Taylor was photographed cheering him on from the sidelines, his mother sharing the excitement right along with her. Now, if that is not enough for you, he was later photographed walking out of the stadium with Taylor Swift, and recently she bought out a restaurant just so they could have lunch together. Now, whether they're actually a couple or not is yet to be confirmed, but the huge media coverage brewing from this news and all the photos being taken and all the evidence being gathered, they're dating. They're 100% together now. Number 7. Taylor Lautner. Taylor and Taylor were together briefly in 2009 after meeting on the set of the romantic comedy Valentine's Day. In the film, they played high school sweethearts, something that apparently made its way into their real lives. Following filming, T-Squared began sparking dating rumors. Those rumors were confirmed when they appeared at the Video Music Awards red carpet that year. The same year that Kanye West interrupted Taylor on stage. Not even a cliff-diving werewolf can scare that man. They were a cute couple on paper and in the eyes of the media, which really helped out their careers. 2009 was the same year that Taylor was set to star in Twilight: A New Moon as his iconic character, Jacob, and Taylor was making waves with the release of her album Speak Now coming up in the new year. They both made appearances as the host of Saturday Night Live on separate nights, but referencing each other during their respective monologues. That's so cute. In December of that year, the couple called it quits, with both claiming that the media was making a way bigger deal out of things than they needed to. They became good friends and simply realized that they didn't need to be a couple to enjoy each other's company. Number 6. Jake Gyllenhaal. The brief romance between these two happened years ago, but Swifties remember Jakey all too well. Taylor and Jake first made breaking news in 2010 when they were spotted together in New York City, meeting backstage at Saturday Night Live and getting pretty close. Over the months that followed, sparks started flying between these two, but those sparks went out pretty fast. Less than a year after getting together, the couple called it quits. The split was quick and quiet, not much came from it, but most fans believe that several of her songs on Red, including the song All Too Well, were inspired by Jake. Taylor is able to take every breakup she's ever been in and make us dance about it. In the years that have followed, Jake and Taylor have maintained a solid friendship, but the timing of their relationship could not have been better for Jake. At the same time that his name was popping up in gossip columns, the Disney movie Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time was on its way to theaters. Swifties bought tickets to see Taylor's boy toy in armless leather and wielding little jabby thingies, but they were instead met with a bad movie and a few months later an uncomfortable image of Taylor Swift's ex imprinted into their skull for the rest of their lives. Number 5. Calvin Harris. After dating for only 15 months, Taylor and Scottish beatmaker Calvin Harris decided to split. While Calvin and Taylor were actually pretty chill in terms of the aftermath from their split, their friends and fans were not so chill. People started trashing Calvin and claiming that he was intimidated by Swift's success compared to his own. Despite Calvin praising Taylor online for her courage and her career, Kim Kardashian and Katy Perry chimed in on Twitter, causing a massive online feud that spanned for months. Now eventually, while still dealing with the aftermath, she began dating Tom Hiddleston. Since their split, the amount of content they have made based on each other is ridiculous. Many people believe that Calvin's beats were slowly becoming based on his time with Taylor, and obviously vice versa. He later claimed that he was advised not to say her name or say anything directly related to their breakup in any of the songs. So while not a PR stunt, the aftermath put a spotlight on Calvin, and he was added to Taylor's long list of famous boos. Number 4. Matt Healy. The controversial frontman of the 1975 sparked dating rumors when he and Taylor were spotted getting cozy after a concert earlier this year. These two have been friends since 2014, but following Taylor's split from Joey Alwyn, Matty decided to take his shot. The two were in what many people call to be a whirlwind romance, and it just so happened that at the same time these rumors gained traction, Matty was being exposed as an all-around rough person. There's a lot of bad stuff attached to that guy. After only a month of confirmed so-called dating, Taylor announced that she wanted nothing to do with Matty. It became painfully obvious that his on-stage antics and his overall being was just not something that Taylor could vibe with. Arguably, Matty's misdeeds may have gone under the radar had it not been for Taylor. He's been getting away with some pretty shady stuff for a long time and saying some pretty crazy things, but suddenly when he starts dating Taylor Swift, he's public enemy number 1. Good! He deserved every bit of hate that he got. Number 3. Lucas Till. Lucas Till, not much can be said about his time with Taylor, as it was actually the shortest relationship that I've put on this list. Now, for those who don't know, Lucas is an American actor who starred in movies from every genre, spanning from like the X-Men to biographical dramas. In 2009, while still relatively unknown, he started dating Taylor Swift. The two were only together for a month before they called it quits. According to Taylor, they were just both too nice, you know? According to the former X-Man, the decision to split was simple. After being romantic for a month, they realized that they were just better off as friends. But that doesn't matter to Swifties. Even if it was a 2-week fling, he was now on the list of disgruntled ex-boyfriends. Oddly enough though, around the same time that the split took place, his name was in tabloids and headlines as her new ex-boo. Now, this meant that when he went in for auditions, his name was no longer unfamiliar to anybody in the room. 2 years later, he appeared in X-Men First Class as Havoc and has maintained a solid acting career ever since, most recently being the man to take on the mantle of MacGyver in a TV reboot that ended after 4 seasons. Number 2. Tom Hiddleston. Tom and Taylor were together for 3 glorious months back in 2016. After Tom had debuted in Marvel and Taylor was riding on the success of her 1989 album from 2014. According to a source at the time, the breakup was entirely Taylor's idea. Now at the time, Tom wanted their relationship to go public and she was uncomfortable with that. Apparently Tom was just more invested in the relationship than she was at the time. The couple first met when Taylor was still dating Calvin Harris in May, like I previously mentioned. After they shared a dance together at that year's Met Gala, they were smitten. They were caught sucking face on the beach not far from Tom's Rhode Island home the following month, and the public was introduced to Hiddle Swift. Taylor had split from Calvin, and the two were now free to be together. Following the massive amount of online love, it appeared that Tom was ready to bring that love into the mainstream and use it to sell tickets to his films and to her concerts. Both worked, as Loki is the best character in Marvel right now, and Taylor broke Ticketmaster. So, come see, come saw. Number 1, Joe Alwyn. Taylor's longest relationship on this list is with her most recent ex, Joey Alwyn. After 6 years of being together, the couple decided to call it quits. At the time, they claimed that it was due to differences in their personalities. Since late 2016, the couple have shared some truly adorable moments together on screen and in private. Joe was even spotted at a few of Taylor's concerts in the early stages of their relationship, just solo, they're just showing support. For 6 years, things went smooth. Joe was an actor receiving fairly steady work after his career-making role in Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. Taylor was by his side at every red carpet and vice versa at awards shows and the like. Now, they were inseparable, but suddenly in 2023, after 6 long years, they called it quits. The news came while Taylor was on the road for the start of her Eras tour, a tour that he was never actually spotted at or even invited to. According to an insider close to Taylor, Joe just could not handle the level of fame that she was on. They couldn't just exist in public because Taylor would be surrounded by paparazzi and fans the moment that they stepped out of their house. Since the split, Taylor has been on her Eras tour and has been appearing in the news more and more. Meanwhile, Joe has just kind of been existing on the sidelines, surely being called every name in the book by Swifties around the world. So, number 10, Do Not Come. As many may know, in the past couple of weeks, Taylor has been spotted at more and more Chief games, cheering on the Kansas City Chiefs alongside Travis Kelce's mama, who you would think an enthusiastic and energetic crowd member would be a nice addition to the game and welcomed by the players. Well, apparently not Taylor. In the last couple of weeks, a trend has been flooding the internet of people trolling their boyfriends by claiming that Taylor Swift made Travis famous. On top of the annoying amount of content based around that, Taylor has been seen regularly attending the games with a lot of attention being put on her instead of the actual game. Cameras zoom in, fans cheer for her instead of the players, but the team seems to be turning this into a motivational thing as they have won every single game that she's attended so far, which is why several football players for the Philadelphia Eagles have started begging Taylor to sit out their game versus the Chiefs. One player, Eagles quarterback Darius Slay, mentioned Taylor during an episode of his podcast, Darius's Big Play, and jokingly told Taylor not to be present when they visited the Chiefs on their home turf. It seems that Taylor is their good luck charm and everybody knows it. Their next game is scheduled for October 9th, going up against the Minnesota Vikings, so fingers crossed she comes to that game and keeps this streak going. Number 9, Mama Drama. Throughout a ton of this Travis and Taylor drama, there's been one woman by her side through most of it, and that is Travis's mom, Donna. Donna was recently interviewed by the podcast Got It From My Mama and explained that spending time with Taylor Swift has felt like being in an alternate universe. She was mostly just surprised and excited by all the hype surrounding her son and his possible new relationship with Taylor. Every week the hype gets bigger and bigger, but what Donna doesn't remember is that Taylor has a long history of chilling with her boo's mamas. In the past, she's been seen living it up with Joe Alwyn's mom, who she was with for over 6 years. She spent a ton of time with Joe Jonas's mom, even though their relationship was pretty short, so if anything, Donna should be nervous. The more time this woman spends with you, the more likely it'll be that she breaks your son's heart and then writes a song about it. Chief of My Heart, Kansas City Chameleon, You Suck! Those are just some of the titles, just some ideas for Taylor in case that actually does happen. Number 8, Running for President. Now, this entry is a little bit recent and it just popped up in the news cycle. It hasn't been confirmed as really happening yet, but is pretty neat and I thought we should talk about it. The United States may still be a year away from electing a new president. Sure, Joe Biden might get another term and serve a full 8 years, but not if Taylor Swift has anything to say about it. The former director of strategic communications for the White House, Elisa Griffin, was speaking with The View Behind the Table, which is a podcast, when the topic of Taylor Swift and Travis came up. Now, Elisa was pretty excited to talk about the situation with them, but then shared some information on Taylor regarding political stuff. She claimed that if the country wanted to see Donald Trump stay out of the office, that the only smart move may be to throw Taylor's name into the running. As pointed out by several of my co-workers, Swifties make up like over 50% of the country, so the moment that her name appears on the ballot, she'd win in a landslide. People who've never voted in their lives would register just to get her into the office. Now that's when the fun begins. Personally, I have no political views, but the idea of Taylor Swift becoming the president of the United States, for some reason it just doesn't feel that far-fetched. Number 7, restaurateur. Over the last few days, the rumors that Taylor Swift is dating Kansas Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce have been running rampant, and they were actually spotted attending a Chiefs game, and of course she was spotted attending a few Chiefs games with Travis's mother and leaving the events with Travis. But those rumors were cemented as true and that they probably are a couple when Taylor decided to buy out and clear an entire restaurant for the day, while people were still eating their meals. According to several patrons of an unnamed establishment, they were happily eating their meals when they noticed that the waiters started slowly making their way around the room. When they approached the table, they were informed that their meal was paid for, but they would have to leave right then, right now. The patrons left, and when they returned later on, filled with curiosity, they discovered that it was Taylor Swift who kicked them out. Getting your meal paid for by a stranger sounds cool, but imagine how awkward that scenario is. Hi there, your meal's paid for, now get out please, just leave. Listen, I don't care who you are, if you wanted to have so much privacy, maybe just go home and order Popeyes, Uber Eats, anything else. Number 6, party hardy. Taylor has a ton of A-list buddies that she spends her time with, but one woman who's been making headlines alongside Taylor has been Sophie Turner. Sophie, of course, is going through a very public divorce with one of Taylor's ex-boyfriends, Joe Jonas. The two of them are currently in a pretty public battle for the rights to their kids, and the divorce has brought several things to light that has caused the courts to force Joe and Sophie to do couples counseling while they try to figure out how to properly handle the situation. But instead of attending the classes and trying to keep her family together, it seems like Sophie has been out and about partying with Taylor Swift. Taylor is a terrible influence and has been living it up with Sophie for the past couple of weeks, apparently keeping each other occupied while Joe goes into a downward spiral. Sophie has accused Joe of a lot of stuff during this whole thing, and Taylor has just been standing there telling her that everything's fine and she's doing the right thing. Number 5, the profiter of pain. If there's one thing that Taylor Swift is famous for, it's taking tragedy and turning it into triumph. Her career is basically just built on the backbone of her broken relationships. Men like Harry Styles, Tom Hiddleston, and many more are set to be the inspiration for some honestly catchy songs. You can hate on her all you want, but I'll still be dancing to Shake It Off every time it plays. Just because the songs are good though doesn't always mean that the person who's inspired them is going to enjoy them. While some of her exes like Joe Alwyn have been pretty supportive when it comes to Taylor's writing, other people like Tom Hiddleston have not been so stoked. Taylor is clearly a sour topic for a lot of people. Even the happy-go-lucky Jake Gyllenhaal would rather not talk about his time with Taylor, and honestly we can't blame him. Imagine the worst breakup you've ever gone through in your entire life, and now imagine that it was a top 10 on Spotify. Your soul would be crushed. Number 4, Travis Kelce. This is the most recent entry to Taylor's library of possible partners. Travis Kelce is a football player for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Taylor was spotted attending one of his games a few weeks ago. So there was nothing out of the ordinary there, but then there was more. Taylor got spotted attending the event with his mom, literally sitting arm in arm together the entire night, and they've done that a couple of times now. Taylor was then photographed cheering him on from the sidelines, his mother just as excited as she was, and if that wasn't enough, they were later photographed walking out of the stadium together arm in arm. Now, this dude's been on podcasts talking about how he can't say much and not really specifying if he is or is not with Taylor. Only people hiding something say that, okay? As the weeks go by, we're gonna get more and more proof that this dude is dating Taylor, but for now, it's still just speculation. Number 3, transportation. There was a massive theory going around the internet as Taylor started her Eras tour, and people were wondering how it was possible for her to get around venues when there were crazed fans literally around every single corner. And not to mention, in order to get to the stage of most outdoor venues, you have to be exposed to the public even for the briefest of moments. But there was one common theme at all of her shows. The event staff were always seen pushing this tall janitor's cart back and forth before the show would begin. Now, the first red flag was the people pushing this thing had earbuds in their heads and they were wearing black t-shirts, not exactly janitor clothes, and eventually a fan was able to get the right angle and capture a moment when Taylor stepped out of the cart backstage. Not only did this confirm the rumor, but Taylor's secret vehicle had been outed to the world. Now, I'm not going to be attending the concert because I'm not that rich, but for those of you who are attending, keep an eye out for 2 people in black t-shirts pushing a random coffin around or something down the halls. Number 2, the master. If you've ever purchased a ticket for something online, then you're probably no stranger to Ticketmaster. It's one of the most popular ticket purchasing programs on the planet. When it was announced in 2022 that Taylor would be doing this whole Eras World Tour thing, the ticket sales were insane. So insane that she single-handedly took that website down. Well, her fans did. So after the pre-sales went up for the Eras Tour, an astonishing 2.5 million Swifties got into their virtual queues and started ordering tickets. 2.5 million people is a ton of online foot traffic. Think about all those people going in at once to buy their tickets. 2.5 million people! Yeah, so the website glitched and millions of fans were unable to find or purchase their tickets. The glitch was eventually fixed and Ticketmaster took away one of the options for general tickets until the majority of the pre-sales had been gone. Now Taylor wasn't directly responsible, but following the news, she said nothing except, oops, I didn't know, that's my bad. Yeah, she didn't care one single bit. She was just glad that her bank account was nice and full. Number 1, she can't swim. Taylor Swift knows how to put on a good show, okay? And this next entry just proves that sentence. During one of her first shows of the Era Tour in Glendale, Arizona, Taylor stood in front of her fans as a small hole opened up in the stage. She jumped in and a masterpiece in LED technology started to play. She jumped in and waves flowed across the stage as a bird's eye view showed her swimming from one end of the stage to the other. Granted, it's definitely not Taylor and it's just a projected image, but that's still neat, you know? That's why I said that she can't swim, because she's not swimming, get it? The sequence ended with a large wave hitting the back of the stage, with Taylor appearing underneath a cloud in a new outfit as the waves vanished. Thankfully, it worked out on stage, as it was reported that during the rehearsals for the show, Taylor actually missed her mark a couple of times and belly flopped into the pool, which would have made for a pretty different show.